It is finally time. It is happening. We're doing a full face of makeup by Mario. I have foundation, concealer, I have that new eyeshadow palette, bronzer, blush, highlighter, the whole shebang. We are just going to be trying out and seeing if this is actually like, if this is worth the immense hype that it's getting. I will say I have owned quite a few things from Makeup by Mario from before. Most of them have been decluttered, but through the magic of PR, some of them are back into my collection, and I guess we just have to give them a second chance. So this is going to be a full face of first impressions or second chances to products that may or may not deserve them. So I am as surprised as you, but I actually did get a PR package from Makeup by Mario having the foundation that I decluttered and the concealer that I also decluttered, together with, I think it's 2 makeup brushes. It is a cosmetic brush and a cosmetic brush. Let's see what these are. Okay, so this is a double-sided makeup brush, and this is probably really good for concealer and foundation. We are gonna be trying it out. I do love me some good brushes. If you've been on my channel before, you know that I have some own brushes in my beauty brand, Cinch Beauty. And this brush is then, is this a concealer brush maybe? Ooh, that's actually nice. I have a concealer brush that, this one isn't clean, but I have a concealer brush that looks like this. Mine is a little longer, and mine is denser, and therefore also a little softer. But this one is not as dense. But you know what? We will try this out for sure. So I decluttered this foundation. I decluttered this foundation because I personally thought that it was a little too glowy on me, and it also has almost like a sparkly, like mica glow to it. This is 9W, and should we just like apply this on the brush then? So this is the thing. Actually, I think I'm gonna take some on the back of my hand. So I took like 1.5 pump here. I am gonna apply this like I applied, I think that's gonna be a good shade, because obviously I'm lighter in my face because I keep scrubbing my face all the time. But I'm gonna apply this the way that I applied the House Lab foundation when I changed my mind on that one, which was just a very sheer layer. I will say that this foundation does have, I think it is like coconut water, polyglycerol, blah blah blah, coconut alkanes. It's pretty high up, so if you're sensitive to coconut, which my friend Heather is, you might break out from this like she did. So I'm just gonna take a very sheer layer, and I'm not gonna try and make this like full coverage. I'm just gonna do a sheer layer like I did with the House Lab, just to see if something like that could work better on my skin, because I have more of a combo oily skin, and I just felt like this one was a little bit too glowy on me, and I needed to powder all over. Does Makeup by Mario have a powder? Because I didn't buy a powder. I bought a bronzer, I bought a blush, I bought a highlighter, I bought a lip pencil, and I bought the eyeshadow palette. I'm so curious about this brand. I know that it isn't 100% like my style, but I'm so curious to try out more things. But I didn't buy powder. Does he have a powder? Did I miss that? Or maybe he's like about to release something like that. This does look really nice, and I definitely have sheared this out. It does not cover a lot, but maybe this will be good. I think the concealer is pretty decent. The concealer is one of those that if I use too much, it ends up creasing on me. And it's like, it's one of those that I have to babysit a little bit. Some concealers that like, if I end up wanting to use a little bit more, this one is in, ooh, that's a light one, 160. If I end up using a little bit too much, like the Huda Beauty one, it doesn't really crease on me anyways if I set it down. But I feel like this one was one of those that like, I can't use too much. So I'm just gonna do like this. This is the places that I like to conceal. And let me use that little concealer brush. Where are you? Where did I put it? Did I lose it? Hello? I personally like handles that are a little longer than these. They have shorter handles. I like a long handle, but I know that that's not for everyone, but it is something for me. This concealer though, I did declutter it because I'm like, it's not my favorite. I have so many concealers. But I'm gonna be honest, it's a decent concealer. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that I have concealers that I prefer. But honestly, there's nothing wrong with this concealer. And I'm gonna give this foundation a decent chance, just like I did with the one from House Labs that I actually ended up like using and keeping, because when I used that as a low coverage sheer base and powder over it, I don't dislike it. And we are gonna treat this one exactly the same. Because yeah, I do have combo oily skin. I'm 40 years old. I live in a humid climate. And sometimes foundations that are a little bit too glowy, if I try to build them up to medium, which is what I prefer, it just ends up being too glowy and too Tin Man. This concealer is definitely too light for me. I think we all can see that. But it does definitely look highlighty. And again, I don't have a powder, but let me show you what I do have. Well, this sets down a little bit. This one is the Soft Pop Powder Blush in Creamy Peach. This one has a little bit of a shimmer to it. I've been into like lighter blushes as of late. Like I've been liking to use those too. So this is the Soft Sculpt Bronzer. I love a good powder bronzer, and I hear so many good things about this one. I got this one in medium. That's a little dark, but also we are going into summer and I'm definitely gonna be more tan than this. We're actually getting, I mean, I'm filming this on Tuesday. You're seeing this on Wednesday. We are getting 89 degrees tomorrow, and if it's sunny, catch me by the pool, okay? Catch me by the pool. This is the Soft Glow Highlighter in Golden. Mine came a little broken. That's a shame, but I will smush it back down. Sometimes you can just smush it back down and it will be okay. I don't know if that's gonna be the case with this one. Oh my God, there is glowy everywhere. You can see that it's like, you can see my finger that I smushed it down with. It looks really pretty though. I need to go and clean my hands though. I'm gonna use my powder from NYX just to set my under eyes while I work on my brows. And I think I'm gonna be using like the other side of this brush. Maybe it seems a little stiff. That's what she said, but I think it might work. Just gonna get rid of the creases. And then let's see how this works with powder. Yeah, not my favorite put powder, but it works. I'm just gonna set my T-zone now, and I'm gonna do my brows, and then we're gonna see how the rest has set down before we go in with like some bronzer. Okay, so I will say, just like the last time, I'm a little sticky. So I'm gonna do a little bit of powder. This is the one size one, and I'm gonna go in with my own brush. This is the F05, and I'm just gonna like buff a light layer, because I don't think that going in with a powder bronzer without doing that is gonna be even a remotely good idea, because I am sticky and I am gonna track bugs and they are never escaping my skin. Okay, so I bought this one in medium. Getting a brush, getting the same brush, well, another brush, another F05. So I got this one in medium because it was described as a light to medium with a golden undertone, I think. And the one that was light medium was something else. I'm not arguing. It is what it is, but that's why I picked the medium and not the light medium, because I don't want a too neutral or a cool tone bronzer or something that's like peachy or pinky. So I think that this one was described as a little bit more warm or golden, which is what I want. And I've heard some really good things about this bronzer, and immediately it reminds me a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury one, but I will say that this one, the matte bronzer, this medium from Makeup by Mario, is definitely darker and a little bit more pigmented than the medium one from Charlotte Tilbury, but I will say they go on and blend very similarly on the skin. That actually looks really good. I have a sneaking suspicion I'm gonna like this one. That looks really nice. And it's not flat, but it's definitely not shimmery. Yeah, I think we are gonna be friends. Okay, I'm like over bronzing because I like this bronzer so much, so I need to calm down. It's all over the place. I really like that. That looks really nice. Okay, so the blush that is still covered by highlighter, it's the one that is called Creamy Peach. And I clearly got the one that had a little shimmer. This is so satisfying. So I got the one that had a little bit of shimmer to it. I'm gonna go in with another cinch brush. This is the F06, and I am gonna put that up here. Oh, that's more pigmented than I thought. Oh, I like that. It's definitely more of a sheen than a shimmery blush. I like something that has a little bit more than that, but you can definitely see that there is something. That's really nice though. But I'm happy I got a highlighter too, because first I was like, maybe I don't need a highlighter. It's a shimmery blush. Oh, no, no. If you like a highlighter like me, you definitely need a highlighter too. But that is really pretty, and it goes on super smoothly. Oh, I can see why people are going on and on about these products. They're really nice. Okay, so this one, it's been through a lot. It's been through a lot. I got this one in golden, and I like a highlighter that's not too light. That is very nice. It almost reminds me, what does this remind me of? It almost reminds me a little bit of that new one from Too Faced that I just tried, because it is very smooth and it is not baked, it is not dry, it is not baked or dry, so it doesn't feel like the one from ABH, it doesn't feel like the one from Rare Beauty, but it's also not putty, it doesn't feel like creamy, but it feels very powdery and nice. That is nice. I like putting highlighter above my brows because I have, as you can see, no forehead. So I like pretending that we can elongate that a little bit. But that is really, I love still, I know it's so out, but I still love a good highlighter. Okay. Foundation still not my favorite, but I was able to powder it down. But I gotta say, the rest of my face, it do be looking really nice. Okay, I bought a lip liner as well. I do have some lipsticks. So I have a couple of these like the gloss sticks. You know, these that you like, you click them up and there's like a gloss stick coming. My favorite is the one that's called Honey Glow. It doesn't have any shimmer in it. It's this warm like golden brown or beige. I also have one of the new satin lipsticks. This is an Uptown Girl. And I recently used this one in a look, but I think I'm going to be using one of the more nudie ones today, and we'll do like a neutral look because I'm going to use that new neutral eyeshadow palette. Really do like this formula though. I think it's a really, really nice formula. Do you need to pay this much money for a satin lipstick? Maybe not, but it's nice packaging and the colors are pretty nice. I did have that gloss that he had. It was like almost like this, like he was trying to say that it was like this formula, but in a gloss. I did not like that one. I did declutter it, but I've been really intrigued by this lip liner. I got it in tan, I think. Yes, because I've heard some really, really good things about it. And I think this one, so it's a lip liner and it has like a little brush. So we're gonna try this one out. I heard some good things about this one. Okay, yeah, this formula reminds me a little bit more of a, almost like a classic MAC lip pencil or the ABH lip pencils. It's not overly creamy. It's a little bit more waxy, which is what I prefer when it comes to lip liners, because I feel like if they're overly creamy, they smear and you can't be as precise with them as you want them to be, and they don't even do what they're supposed to do, which is hold the creamy lip product inside your lips. So I prefer something that is, I don't want it to be tuggy, but I don't want it to be overly creamy. I kind of like this color actually. That's a really nice color. It's like a golden beige, so it's not cool toned, but it's also not peach. I like it. So I put a little eye primer on my eyes. I am so excited to finally be trying the Makeup by Mario eyeshadow formula. Is this like my type of eyeshadow palette? If you know me, not really. But that's okay, because I'm just intrigued to be trying this formula out. I'm intrigued to finally be testing it out. So I got the, just looking at it, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, was I drunk? Bought under the influence. I am gonna do an all matte look. I know, shocker. And we are just gonna see how this is. Angie's venturing into neutrals. They all look the same. Okay, I'm gonna start with, you know what, I'm just gonna build from lightest to darkest. I'm gonna start with this one, and I'm gonna start with an EO3, which is just a really fluffy one, and we can just do a transition shade. I have not swatched this or anything. That goes on really nice. And we'll see. I mean, you've seen the swatches now. I haven't, like, when I'm filming this, I haven't done the swatches. I mean, this is a brand made by a makeup artist trying to, like, there's a lot of brands made by makeup artists that try to, like, make it a little bit more accessible for everyone, basically. And some brands do better, some brands do it not as good. I would love to hear what brand you think is able to break down, like, makeup artistry to a level that makes it more accessible to, like, an everyday person, because we have, like, Pat McGrath, Natasha Denona, Patrick Ta, Makeup by Mario, Danessa Myricks. I would love, and there's of course more, but I would love to hear, like, what brand, I mean, Elisa Eldridge, her products are amazing. What brand do you think is able to almost, like, break that barrier between being made by makeup artists, for makeup artists, but also attainable to someone who is only doing makeup on themselves? I have not really dove in a lot to Makeup by Mario because he does a lot of neutral things, which is what he's known for. Like, it's the makeup style that he's known for. And I think that both Makeup by Mario and Patrick Ta, like, their foundation was very much geared towards either having dry skin or, like, almost like editorial skin. Like, the foundation from Patrick Ta, that was rough. I'm sure it looks great if you are on a photo shoot, but, like, who's wearing that out and about? It was so bad. It had the longevity of a Hubba Bubba. It was like, it was so bad. So this palette is supposed to be, like, a little bit more of his cool tone neutral palette, and I see so many people loving his warm tone neutral palette, which is, like, the main reason why I was so intrigued by this one, because I'm like, maybe I can be into neutrals. With that being said, I do prefer warm tone neutrals, so I mean, I probably should have, like, bought the other one instead of this one, but this is the new one, and, like, I am also a YouTuber, so kind of makes sense to try the new one. I'm still using that same shadow. I haven't dove into anything else. I will say, I don't know if you can see, it's a lot of fallout in here. Like, it is very, very finely milled, but it doesn't feel overly dry. It doesn't feel like it's, like, one of those that's gonna tug to, like, an eye primer, but it's it picks up a lot, which is nice, but, like, make sure they don't swivel a lot because there's gonna be an accident. So with a slightly smaller brush, I'm thinking maybe this one that's underneath, that's, like, neutral but not, like, a cool tone. There is a lot of fallout, and we're gonna take that one. This is the EO2, and we're gonna build that in the crease and in the outer corner. And here's the true test. How do they build? I will say they don't build as good as some of my favorite formulas, but I also don't see, like, a problem. If you want it to be a little bit more intense, you can always start with the darker one first. But I definitely think that I will be able. I can tell that these are a little bit more of a buildable formula than a bang-on pigment. I mean, which is something that I like, but a buildable formula, let's be honest, they're a little bit more fail-proof to work with, so I do like it. Look at that. Look at that. Who am I? Neutral brown Angie. This is not a cry for help, by the way. I'm not kidnapped. I feel like this looks really good. Am I, like, dreaming? I feel like it looks good. Am I dreaming? I have this spot here that just never wants to take any eyeshadow, and I don't know if that's, like, I don't know what's going on. That's my eye. First I was thinking I'm gonna do the black, but I think maybe or should I do, let's do the black. Let's do the blacks. I'm doing an even smaller brush. This is an EO5 and I'm just gonna, okay. You know what, I can be into a little bit of a smoky situation. Oh, that's a nice black because it builds, but it's also not straight up super pigmented at the get-go, which can be hard if you're only using the black to deepen up. It can be really hard if it just ends up being like a black blob immediately when you put it down and you're like, you don't know what to do with it. So it's nice when it's like a little bit buildable and not like full on opaque at the get-go. At least with blacks, that can actually be really nice. That's actually really nice. Okay. I'm pretty impressed. And I do love an all matte neutral look. If I do neutral looks, it's usually like the neutral mattes I'm excited about and not so much the neutral shimmers. But see this point here? I swear my eye is just like conspiring against me. I'm gonna do a little bit on the outer part of my lower lash line too, of that black. And then I'm just gonna blend a little bit before we go in with a light color. I love a good contrasty look. Okay, I'm gonna do the lightest one. It's like almost white. And man overboard, lost one on the floor. I'm cleaning an EO1, which is like a flat brush that has a little bit of a point to it. So I am gonna do that one with this like, oh, that picks up so nice. With this like almost white. And I'm just gonna, oh, I know I'm gonna love this. I love a good contrast. If I cannot do colorful, at least let me get the contrast. Oh. I'm gonna do the inner corner, a little bit on my lower lash line. I love a matte inner corner. It is so eye-opening. It's so flattering if you have a lot of folds and like starting to get some hood in here like I do. Again, I'm 40. Matte inner corner, if you have not tried it yet, this is your sign. That is really nice. Let me use the brush that I had, that lighter brown, and I'm just gonna blend a little bit here. And I'm gonna use a little bit of the dark brown, not the black. And I'm gonna meet up. Ooh, I love how that looks. I might actually do a little bit of the, like the one that is a little bit like light brown. I might do a little bit of that. And just meet up here towards the brow. Okay, I think that will be good. So since this one is so dramatic, I'm gonna do a white waterline. I love a white waterline when I want to have a really dramatic look. I just think it's so cool, and it is very dramatic. I know it's not for everyone, but I love it. I love it. And this one is from Tarte. This eyeliner, the white one, it is my favorite white eyeliner in my collection, and I actually just recently bought this one in like a beige as well. I don't know if Makeup by Mario has a mascara or not, but I'm gonna use the one from Tower 28. And ooh, a half lash as well. I have these favorite ones from Vive, the smoky ones. I'm gonna put those on. They're just on the outer part, which fits really well now that it's so light in the inner part. I mean, this do be looking really glamorous and really nice. I love how all of this is looking. I think the only thing where I'm like, this isn't my favorite is the foundation. It's just too dewy, glowy, sticky for my skin type. I don't enjoy it. I'm gonna put this on the lip. It is the Moisture Glow. Oh, the Swedish came out. If you're Swedish, you noticed. It's the Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum in Honey Glow. And this one is, like I said, it's like warm beige. So it is a little similar to the lip liner, which I, by the way, love. Did I get a lip on the teeth? Let's not do that. And this one does not have any shimmer in it. Ooh. Ooh, these say that they are plumping, but they're like slightly tingly. They have nothing like hurting, chilly in them at all, according to me. And I'm very sensitive to those kind of things. And I don't think that that one has that at all. But this looks great. The bronzer and the highlight, the blush is fine. It's fine. Is it going to be my favorite? Probably not. But the bronzer and the highlight and the lip liner. The lip liner, I need to look at that in store and I need to see what other colors they have. I'm very excited. The eyeshadow palette, I mean, this looks nice. Will I use this one again without bringing in something else? Probably not. But I will say, there is a black, there is an almost white. For me, this is a great companion palette. I kind of wish that the warm one was the new one, because I wanted to try the new one, but like obviously the warm one would have fit me more. But I do like how this is looking. It's very like 1990s glamour and I'm all about it. So overall, I'm kind of impressed actually with the things that I've tried from Makeup by Mario. I think they're really good quality. I just think that this foundation, again, I think that like, and I will say the same with some of the foundations from what's her face? Vanessa and Myricks. Also, some of them are leaning a little bit too editorial, a little bit too makeup artisty. Not all of them, but some of them. And I feel the same about Patrick Ta. The Natasha Nona I feel different about. And also, I haven't used that in a bit. Oh, I haven't used that in a bit. The Pat McGrath foundation, that one is so good. But yeah, oh my god. Did I ruin the hair? Sorry, I'm ruining the illusion. I do really like it. I think this is really nice. It's really good quality. Are you enjoying seeing me in something else than bright colors? Please let me know your thoughts down below. I will leave all the information to all the things that I have if you're wondering what shade I'm wearing and all of that in the description box. Please let me know also if you like this kind of format with like a full face of a brand when I'm trying out new products. Something I'm trying out, so let me know how you feel about that. I hope you're having a great day. The algorithm is going to show you a video here on the side that they think is going to be perfect for you. But if you have to go, you have to go, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!